Hi everyone, welcome back to Fallout 4, and more specifically we are on Spectacle Island. The last few videos I have been sort of slowly building up this island, and now I have completely covered it, and today we're going to go for a little tour. So the island is looking a little bit different to the last time we saw it. It now has a fishing village and a training camp and also a church, and of course I've covered the whole thing with trees as well, so a lot to see. And we are starting out here on the pier. Now this pier is actually part of a mod called Clean and Smooth Settlements. I'll show you a little picture of that there. And so this is all kind of pre-built. I was going to delete it, but then I thought I really like this kind of boat they've chucked in here, and it integrated it really well with the pier and everything. So I've decided to basically keep it. I also thought about a bridge going from Spectacle Island to the mainland, but that's all been done before. So I thought, what if I turn Warwick Homestead into some kind of ferry terminal to get people and goods over here? So I think that's the direction I'm going to go with that. So obviously that'll be a future video at some stage, but let's get into it. We have kind of a welcoming party here. So we are going to lock down the island a little bit, so it's not going to be easy breezy, just walk wherever you want. There are some people on guard that kind of direct you in the way that you're meant to go, as you can see here. We do have the training camp here now with the battery. We'll have a look at that in a sec, but these guys are just making sure you don't just jump the fence. So coming through the first building here, we have this space here, and it's basically a registration area where they can kind of vet you and make sure you're above board and preferably not a raider. So they'll take your name and details and things. And we have Minutemen on guard here. So again, we got more instructions to come this way, and it's also blocked off here, so you can't really go around that way. Nor can you go around this way. We have another person on guard. This guy's actually a mannequin. We have quite a few settlers here, so I kind of tried to use settlers and mannequins to kind of fill certain roles. So generally speaking, the guards are mannequins just to fill these roles. And we have disciple hoods because they basically have no face, so I just tried to cover that up. Anyway, you come this way, and it's intended to sort of send you off this way towards the city over there. You can see it is fenced off, and we do have sort of vegetation to kind of guide you down certain paths. So no direct access to the beach this way, but of course from the city we have access other ways. And if we come this way, obviously we can go into the city, and I didn't show you this, but all the interiors are done. We'll visit that in a moment, but let's go this way. Up there's the farm. We have a video on that one, so you can check that video out, but we do not have a video on this place. Again, I didn't really do anything that was kind of crazily out there, so it is quite simple, so I just decided not to make a video on it, but I will show you kind of roughly what I did here. Starting off with the walls here, these are a mod called Sandbag Fortifications. And the razor wire up there is from the Oppressor mod. It's got a bunch of like kind of military themed stuff. I think it's assets from a different game that they've kind of imported into Creation Engine or whatever. But you can see here we have this pretty imposing gate that does sort of open and close here. And we have some people training over in this section. Because this is an area of interest, I will probably go through all of the buildings here. But let's start over here. We have kind of a transport, a troop carrier transport, just made up with different bits. And we have some power here. Let's come back to these ones. Let's go this way instead. So this is a little Minutemen registration office. So if you did want to join the Minutemen here on Spectacle Island, you'd sort of come through here. Somebody would let you through the gate, and you would come in here, maybe sit there, and then you talk to like a recruitment person. So that's what this kind of little office thing here is. We have our barracks here, so fairly simple, just a bed and a footlocker type dealio. Over here is the mess and kind of a larger crew area, I guess. So just a place to eat over here, fairly simple. And if we come through here, we do have a bunch of showers and toilets that everyone can kind of use. So I've just sort of consolidated this into one little area. Instead of just putting toilets, you know, in random places around the site here. This particular area is a shed containing, obviously, our power armor. So we have an area to sort of work on the power armor, but then we also have an armory here, so you can kind of ask the person what you want and they'll sort of hand it over. So we've got the ammo, but then we also have places to make ammo and just fix guns and things like that. And through here we have an engineering space, so kind of all these little tables and things you might need to fix engines and just whatever else might break on site. And we do have some more Minutemen kind of fixing things over here. So come back this way. So this side is kind of taken care of. So this building here is kind of a central building that has a whole bunch of different kind of spaces in it. The first floor is going to be an infirmary. So it's pretty decked out with everything you might need to fix somebody back up. And if we come around the back, we got our water storage. And we got access to another part over here. So you come up the back here and we have a communications room, and then over here we have kind of just a room that kind of the higher ups can meet and discuss plans and secrets and things, and they get a nice view over the entire place. And this mod that I used to, the assets for this one is called the Whispers Extra Pieces, I believe. So check that one out. Now we have our battery kind of aimed towards the rest of the Boston area here. I decided not to use the kind of mortar style that you might see at the castle over there. I think that just makes more sense than, you know, the mortars, because the mortars themselves have kind of like a poured concrete base, and I don't know, just to me it doesn't make that much sense. But you can see I've arranged them in a pretty serious, dense, I don't know what you call them, pattern here to yeah, kind of take care of the densest part of the Boston area. So we've probably got the airport and city and all this sort of space covered, and they are manned by these dudes who are actually mannequins, but you know, don't tell anyone. And you can see there the fortification, the sandbag walls here. I decided to go this route because it kind of looks semi-temporary. It doesn't look as established as obviously the castle over there, and I kind of like that look. It makes it look like, you know, they just set up shop at Spectacle Island just to sell that kind of idea. Over here in this corner we have kind of a gun range. So we've got the barge over there in the sea, and you've got sort of targets set up that they can take pot shots at and make sure everyone's trained up to fight any battles they might need to fight. Okay, and then if we spin over here, obviously you can see a vertibird over there. Let's have a look. Oh, and we do have a giant communications tower as well. Actually, no, we'll stay in this area for now because we have this thing here, which is our howitzer ammo storage bunker. I just decided to kind of simulate that this thing is kind of built into the ground. I don't know how successful that is. Let's just see if I can get on top of it, because I did put grass. It's kind of, I'm trying to, you know, give you that look that it's kind of built into the ground or whatever. So trying to protect the ammo, so if anyone starts shooting or something happens at the base, it doesn't immediately explode. So it is kind of in a safer area. And we have another room here as well. So that's where all the ammo is stored. And it just sort of brings back to what these things are for. So these are meant to be the howitzer ammo, I don't know what you call it, transport. So this guy's just making sure these are top notch. So we would use some kind of hoist or something to put the ammo in, and then these little guys can drive around the buildings and just distribute the ammo if anything was to pop off. And this little room here just connects our landing pad over there. So you would sort of register the flight coming in, and you just wait for your flight, and you would just walk across this bridge, somebody on guard here, and jump on the vertibird. This is actually an enclave vertibird. I just like the style, and I also like that you can kind of walk around this place, and it looks like just a little bit more usable than the ones, I guess, in the standard game, and the details are really cool as well. So I do like to use these ones, and I'll probably stick with them, to be honest. And this one has a little bit of a, let's just jump down, a little generator here just to run the lights and everything. And I've just tried to nicely integrate that underneath there. And you can see I've put some fortifications and razor wire around this sort of area outside of the base, just to make sure that you know, it's not so easy to get inside the training camp here without going through the front entrance. Okay, so that is our landing pad for the vertibird. I put it down kind of low because I think the vertibirds, they are quite big, and I think if you have just like a base or a camp like this, and just having a vertibird right in the middle of it, it just sort of detracts from the overall aesthetic a little bit. So I wanted to have the vertibird away from the main base and not just sort of plonk it right in the middle. So that's why that is kind of off to the side, and I've tried to hide it down below the main, I guess, the main camp itself, just to kind of hide the silhouette there a little bit. So that is the Minutemen training camp. Again, I don't have a specific video on this one, just because I didn't think I was doing anything particularly revolutionary. You can kind of see how I've put it together using the sort of standard mods that I typically use. So if you just check out my other videos, you kind of know how I would work anyway. Alrighty, so before we head into the city here, because I didn't show the interiors, that wasn't done in my dedicated city video, but one of the buildings that I missed, that some of the Discord members pointed out, was a church. So I've dedicated a little space over this side of the island. Obviously we have a nice path leading to the church. I didn't come up with any particular narrative or story for this one. I've just kind of called it the Lonely Church because it's off by itself. There isn't really much around here. The farm is over those trees and things, but yeah, it's kind of off by itself here, and it's just a kind of a cute little church here with some good views of the sea. It probably would get washed away in real life, but I tried to make a cliff around so it looked a little bit more solid and stable. Can we access? I don't know if I can access around there. Oh yeah, we got a little spot I can get through here. So I just put this little cliff in and kind of just raised it up a little bit. You can see my fog is not quite in the right spot there. And just added some water effects from the far harbour. Put it on blocks. So that is our Lonely Church. So if you have any story ideas or narrative ideas, let me know in the comments below. Okay, let's check out the city now. I did show some of the interiors that I'd started in a previous video, but now the entire city has been decorated inside. Just a little bit of a kind of disclaimer here. Because of the amount of assets on the island, I did sort of not decorate the interiors as much as I usually do. Basically, I wanted to get stuff into every single building, but was kind of cognizant that I have a limit. Doesn't matter how powerful your computer is. In Fallout 4, if you've done any of these kind of bigger builds, you'll know that the cells can only handle so much before they start falling apart, where we start getting screen tearing and a lot of sort of issues. So I just put in kind of the bare minimum into a lot of the buildings. I did want interiors, but yeah, just cognizant of that issue. Let's start with this building here. We've sort of turned this one into a bit of a foundry, so I've put a brick floor down and we have these things kind of burning away. Now I couldn't tell you how this thing actually works. I'm going to say that that thing over there is kind of the gas heat source thing, just heating up these kind of cauldrons or whatever to melt the metal, and got the sort of overhead crane thing happening, and obviously making these kind of girder bar things here. I think I did show the interiors of some of these buildings here, but a lot of the buildings around the other side I did not show. I think I showed in here. Let's just start maybe around here. So I did try and put some people in as well, try and make the the city actually feel like it's a little bit alive. So it is quite simple inside, but we have kind of touched every single building here. Some of them have their own kind of toilets and things as well. So this is kind of the level of the residential buildings here. I'm not sure I'll go through every single one of them. You can see we do have frame dropping issues because obviously it is quite intense. But yeah, we did get some plants and things into the greenhouse here. Let me just set the game hour a little bit so it's a little bit easy to see what we're up to. We've got some shops and things here. More buildings. This is our access down to our lighthouse down there. We'll have a quick look at that. We've got a bookshop here, maybe a library, with an upstairs as well. This guy's painting the wall. this is basically all mostly residential here. You can see here, I've sort of tried to cram it in as much as possible. This one's got like a barbecue on the roof there. Don't know what's upstairs actually. Oh, this is just like another room. This building behind here does have something else going on. So this one is a kind of a cold storage. So we got the interior is basically covered with airplane fuselage metal, just to keep in the cold air, and then we have sort of the cryogenic stuff flowing in through this pump, and I don't know how it works, just tried to make it look like it's feasible. And yeah, just random people about the place. Let's just see this last building here. This one's that weird layout. Okay, let's see if we can get rid of the storm. Okay, so the storm is now gone, and while we're in this spot, you can kind of see the plant situation, just using the trees and the plants to kind of cover up the large expanses of empty space. But I also use them as kind of pathways around the island, so I think that kind of works quite well. But let's go from this lower level up to the next level, and this is kind of our shopping district kind of area around the main fort. So I did show this before, but now this has got an interior. It's our kind of bar and restaurant, and we do have guns here. We got armor, I should say, stuff, and just tried to give it some life so people are hanging around and doing stuff. Got a general trader here. We have chems, and this person's obviously either not feeling well or taking too many chems. That guy should be inside, manning his station. This is kind of the issue when you have too many people, too many settlers. They start bugging out doing this sort of stuff. Sometimes if you skip time, they will sort themselves out, so I probably should have done that beforehand. And finally, in this little spot, we have a kind of open kind of market type thing where you can buy your groceries. So this guy's checking out what this guy has. And we do have kind of random people just sort of sitting around. And we do have an interior to our Minutemen fort. So let's check that out. We have some kind of pillaged goods from the main Boston area. So this kind of area is for anyone on the island to come in, and they can come in here and just sort of check out the interior here. But there's lots of guards around the place because you can't go beyond that unless you're part of the Minutemen. That's kind of by that design. So if we come up here, we do have an armory, so if anything goes down around the city or something, they can sort themselves out. And this is just a space for the people inside the fort to, you know, hang out, live, eat. The beds in kind of the rooms, so they can sleep and be comfortable. And at the top is just a space to look over the island. You can see there, that's the Boston side. You got our training camp there, the farm, and the church down there. I do have my draw distance not exactly set to the maximum, because otherwise if I'm doing screen recording it just drops frames like crazy. But yeah, you get an awesome view and come through the other side. I did mention this is a silly design. I don't know why I did that, but you can see down there, I'll go have a look at that closer, and you can see our new little town over there as well. So let's go check that out. Okay, making our way back down. We'll go on the other side here. I just kind of love this kind of look where you have the multi-levels, the stairs going down, and you just see off into the distance the trees and the lighthouse over there. It just looks really cool. I really enjoy it. You've got some Far Harbor fog. So this is our lighthouse, and I made a dedicated video for this one as well. It's got the full build, so you can see how I made that one. And at night time it looks really cool with the beam going out to the sea. As I mentioned in the video, that was intended for our fishermen when they go from Spectacle Island out into the sea. And I did mention there that I was going to build a fishing village, and this is the fishing village over here. So it's on the complete opposite side of our Minutemen camp, and I was gonna do a video on this one, but again, I haven't really done anything kind of revolutionary, so just decided to add this to our tour. And if you have any specific questions, just drop them below and I'll answer them. So let's start over here at the gate. Now this area is kind of where the Mirelurk Queen and that boat is for the, you know, when you come to Spectacle Island, there's that kind of mission thing you do. So this is kind of built on that location, so you can kind of get an idea of what used to be here. And I just sort of put in, basically everything you see here is, I've put that in except for the rocks basically. So all the boats and structures here. Let's start off maybe here. So a lot of the buildings on the actual land are residential, most of them. And again, they're fairly simple. This guy is obviously into robots, so that's why there's all that stuff. This building here is our bar, just to keep people happy. So we just got a little bar over here. And this building over here is where the kind of fish is processed. So the fishermen will come in here and dump it in here, and then people will process it, ready for the city, I guess, and maybe for export as well. Just some more residential buildings. We got these cool kind of double-decker houses, and again they have kind of fairly simple interiors, just to try and keep that build limit not too crazy. But I've tried my best to kind of link them with really cool not decks, wharfs and things, just to give that kind of fishing village vibe. Which way should we go? Maybe this way. So this particular asset is from the Kuro mod, I think. Hopefully I'm getting that name right. It's kind of a cool, interesting point of interest. And we just got like random boats sort of strewn about the place. We have that kind of main building over there with the ship bridge on top of there, but it's also doubles as the boat storage as well, sort of the dry dock, I guess. We've got more residential stuff here. So you got this little house, and we also have access up using this climbable ladders mod. You can search that on Nexus. And this person is having a nice barbecue. Another house up here. And this is kind of a little bit of a crane with an anchor for a counterweight to get stuff up here, because we have a smoking room. So this is smoking fish. And oh, I got a bit of clipping there. But I just decided to, I don't know, put this thing above everything else, because obviously smoke and stuff, so the smoke's not going into people's houses. Probably a little bit difficult to kind of move fish up and down here, but there we go. We've got some water there as well for the smoking, and this lady is feeding the fish down there. Very nice of you. Oh, because we have fish farms down there, I guess, so that kind of makes sense. Which way? Let's go this way. Got a guy hanging out here. Got another toilet. We do have kind of the long drops around the place, outhouses. There's one over there and another one on the other side behind our smoker. So we do have toilets covered, I think. This one's got a nice view out to the city. Another little residential place up there. Can't quite see with the container up there. Let's go down here and just check out this one. So this is kind of the mayor's house. Mayor of the fishing village. Let's have a look. He's probably got the best digs, I think. Got the bed centrally located with a little desk there. And you've got to access around the whole thing. But you can go up here and hopefully he's in a spot. Is indeed. So they're cooking up a storm up here, cooking the lunch. And they got a little spot to hang out and have some food. But you can get a good view of the fishing village here. And that's the water tower. So if we just climb back down and make our way back this way, you can kind of see how everything's kind of linked up to the centrally located city over here. So again, on this side, using the we have dropping frames. Linked up to the city there, using the trees sort of guiding you through to the entrance there. And we do have a little point of interest through these bushes. We got a little tent hidden away in the forest here with some more fog. Okay, so I've just jumped up into the sky here just to give you an idea of the scale. So that's our port there, the docks, and our Minutemen camp, training camp with the battery. And there's our farm over there, the little church off in the distance. We got the main city here. I'm trying to just be smooth with my mouse. It's a little bit janky. So you can kind of get this the sense of scale. Over there, the lighthouse, and then finally our fishing village on the other side. So I think I'll leave the video here. At the end, at the very end, I'll do some nice kind of still shots or whatever. So if you want to hang out to the end, check that out. But if you've enjoyed this one, please drop us a like. And if you're feeling extra generous, a subscription as well. So my next video is going to be a Western theme. That is a challenge that some of the Discord members are putting on. And if you're interested in Discord, there is a link on the main channel page there. Go check that out and become a member and get involved. With all that said, hope to see you on the next video and have a good day.